always, and a special guest from the Saturday Club podcast universe, Spencer Peltz. Guys, how we doing?
Doing great.
Harry. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you, Spencer. Doing really good. It's been a long winter, but I'm happy to get some spring ball back, get some baseball action going. Yeah, I'm excited to talk ball with you guys.
It's the best time of year, isn't it, boys? I mean, opening day is upon us. Hope springs eternal. There's really nothing like opening day. I mean, you just having that new team to dig into, and a lot of hope, especially with this Clemson baseball squad. But just exciting to have the season back here and be able to experience that every day, boys.
That was very well said from both of you. Yeah, college baseball, Clemson baseball especially, is it's poetry, it's pageantry, it's powerful, and it also brings a lot of pain. But we don't need to talk about that just yet. It's the off season. Everyone's undefeated. Excited to jump into this group. Let's just do a brief recap of last year. I thought this team, for lack of a better word, underperformed. I think they would tell you that. You know, I thought we had the pitching and didn't necessarily have the lineup. This year, I think we have the lineup, and then I think pitching is good, but we lose a lot of high leverage guys. That's just kind of my overview of the lineup. If I had to describe it in a sentence or two.
Yeah, I think the story with last year was like we'd had 2 years of foundation under Bakich with progression each year. Regional first year, lost that to a very good Tennessee team, progressed to a super regional against Florida, and then kind of have a regression to the mean last year where really good team, like started off super strong in the regular season. I think we peaked at like number 3 or 2 nationally, and then hit a tough ACC break, kind of off trending downwards with that NC State series, and then from there it was kind of up and down going into the regional. Ended up getting a pretty tough bracket with West Virginia being a pretty solid team, and then one thing that is a trend when we have like those heartbreaking losses with Clemson baseball under Bakich, it's we haven't seen the team kind of stabilize and be able to bounce back, and that ended up happening with the loss to end the regional to I can't even remember who it was.
We got blown
Kentucky.
up by Kentucky.
Yeah. It's just like that theme continued again, but still a good season. Unfortunately, you lose big guys like Cam Cannarella and one-year transfer Lucas Malstead, who really Dominic Listy as well, who kind of established Clemson baseball as a brand under Eric Bakich. So tough to lose those guys, but still some exciting new players that I'm really anticipating big things from. So let's go ahead and get into it. Well, actually, Spencer, no. What are your thoughts on last year? Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Echoing what you guys, kind of already alluded to, felt like, we built a good foundation under Bakich, but this feels like it's kind of the prove it year, right? I mean, we've gotten to the doorstep a couple times now, and even, a game or two away against Florida in the Super Regional. To Jerry's point, we had a deep pitching staff last year that felt like we had some veteran arms that could really lead us there. Ultimately, I feel like the offensive bats just didn't produce in the postseason when they needed to. We were always kind of a hit or two away from, taking that next step. Guys like, Luke Gaffney and Colin Priest, who were kind of producing, at least the first half of the season. Some of those bats just didn't exactly excel in those high pressure situations in the postseason. Now I feel like this year we have maybe a little bit of a deeper lineup, but it's going to be the pitching. And it's a matter of, do we have those arms that can come in fourth, fifth inning when it's June and everyone's tired and everyone's thrown 100 innings already? And are we going to have those arms? I can't wait to find out.
No, yeah, I am super excited to dive into this. I think, we can talk about the lineup all we want, but it's going to come down to pitching. But how about we start with our favorite newcomer, or I'm sure we're all going to say that are probably the same couple guys. So what's one newcomer, or I guess transfer, they're all looking forward to seeing wearing orange on Friday, purple on Sunday, and purple on Saturday, white on Sunday?
Yeah, I think building on the bats being a big piece this year, we would be remiss to not start with Ty Daly. Current Division I leader in career home runs coming out of Mercer. Dude's electric. I mean, we've seen him in the Savannah Bananas game, which don't put too much stock in that one, but he just seems to be like a culture fit from day one. Swings the ball hard, and he'll be he'll be in the infield, right? Probably
I've seen stuff
second
they're gonna
base.
play him at right field.
Really?
Yeah, corner
Okay.
out maybe. You
Yeah,
can play
no,
kind of everywhere though.
yeah. I think right field makes sense. He'll probably take like the what was the McClatty Crichton swing position last year. Hopefully, we can see some good defense from him, but really excited to see the offensive piece that he adds to this lineup.
Great lefty bat there, especially in Doug Kingsmore. You got that short porch in right field. Hope to see him visiting the Cajun Cafe pretty frequently. For me, in a similar vein, I'm going to go Nate Savoy. I mean, how can you not be excited about this kid coming in from Loyola Marymount? He hit 300 last year on the dot, hit 20 homers, 61 RBI. I mean, he's just a power guy. He plays catcher and outfield, so he's kind of versatile. If Jacob Gerald needs a day off or two, you can put him behind the plate. But where do you think we project him starting, out in left field maybe, or DH?
Yeah, I was thinking left. I also I think it would be very ideal if, like you said, with Gerald getting a day off, is maybe on a Sunday or something, or a midweek, you see him behind the plate and Gerald DHs. I was going to say Savoy just because of versatility, so you took mine. So thanks a lot. But
Sorry, JD.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting to see some of these guys. I'm looking at his bio. Born in 2005. Man, are we old or what?
Yeah, we're cooked.
I know.
Yes,
We're
sir.
chopped. We are
Or
chopped.
washed.
Yep. You just got to look at the uniform. You don't have to look at the birth date.
That's right.
The thing that makes me feel old is when I realize he was born in 2005. Not just that, but he can also legally buy a drink.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
Like,
He's also 4 inches taller than me and
I guess I was going to go next boy. I'll go Tyler Lichtenberger from App State, the shortstop. Big shoes to fill, and Andrew Chufo. I don't want to be rude, but I think he'll easily fill that hitting wise. Fielding will be, that's the question, because Chufo's probably the best defensive shortstop I can remember at Clemson. Left a lot of hitting to be desired, but I think, he hit 341 last year in the Sun Belt. 3 homers, 37 RBIs. So I think I don't know where he's going to be in the lineup. I think Purify's got that leadoff spot kind of locked up, but I like Lichtenberger a lot.
We've had good luck, I feel recently at the shortstop position, defensively speaking, right? We've kind of had a pretty good string now on the left side of the infield of third baseman and shortstops between Max Wagner and Blake Wright to Jacob Hinderleiter. And we'd like to see, Lichtenberger kind of come in and carry that torch, especially on the defensive side. But I project him probably hitting maybe in the bottom half of the lineup and be that guy.
I think like 6th or 7th. I didn't even need to do that. Did you say Blackwell too?
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that.
Blackwell was a good little shortstop in the first year of the package. Pano was really good last year. just left a lot to be desired hitting wise. I do not think hitting's gonna be a problem with this team.
This team's
I
gonna
knock
score
on
some-
wood.
They're
But
gonna-
on Savoy, Daly, Gerald are all 3 guys that I think are going to hit 14 plus homers.
Yeah, I think we were too locked into the power hitting last year, where if we hit well, we were knocking it out of the park. Super effective offense, but when that didn't happen, it was just strikeout after strikeout, and guys like Josh Pano, Luke Gaffney, Colin Priest were big offenders in that area, but I'm hoping to see better improvement from Gaffney specifically. But I think, like you said, offense is not really a concern of mine. I'm excited to see what we bring out in offense. But
yeah, it's a good point. Being kind of living and dying by the home run is not always the best philosophy at this level, especially when you're inevitably going to run into an SEC pitching staff in the postseason that you got to string together at bats and go the other way and just fight and claw to get on base, rather than have guys who are, relying on the long ball. But I agree on the point with Luke Gaffney. I think, he was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, had a rough second half of the season last year. You just got to think he's going to return to his ways. And I'm looking forward to seeing him being a middle of the order bat that can produce. But this team's going to score some runs and a lot of extra base hits out of this club, I have to think.
Yeah, and with Backage being the coach, we're gonna see small ball. That's what my favorite thing about him is. His teams rake, but if they need, they did a double safety squeeze against UNC Greensboro. What was that 2024? That was sick. So I guess moving on from newcomer, who is a guy that's been on the roster, last year, even a couple of years, we think is going to take that next step?
You got someone on the mind, Chris?
I've got a couple. I'll start with pitching. I mean, it came out today that Jacob McGovern is going to be out for a little while. But like towards the last half of the season last year, especially in was it the West Virginia game where he just balled out completely, coming out
Yes.
in
He
relief.
was upstate.
Yes,
Oh, upstate. That's right.
Upstate, like he showed some really good signs of just being a consistent relief guy, which is what the team kind of lacked. And so having consistency there, hoping to see some even stronger improvement. Local kid from Seneca, South Carolina. So I would love to see him take that next step up and be like number one relief guy coming out of the bullpen. Second, I mean, we've already kind of talked about it, but Luke Gaffney is one that we kind of need to see improvement from. He was the marquee transfer going into last year. Showed some pretty good ability at first base and hitting in the first half, but fell apart when it came to hitting. It was kind of a liability towards the end of the season and got pulled from the starting lineup. So I have seen that he's been working on his swing. Clemson is one of the pioneers of like the really high tech data analysis when it comes to hitting. So hopefully the hitting staff is able to or was able to get him what he needs to kind of rebuild that foundation and get some offensive output that this team needs. I don't have any concerns with him when it comes to defense.
Agreed. I like your point on Mr. McShovern, and didn't exactly hear what the severity or the nature. I think you mentioned maybe in like a flu or an illness type situation, so maybe not even a physical ailment with him, but hopefully he can come back soon. And I really, I think what he showed us in that regional was, consistently we've lost to these pitchers going back to Chase Burns in Tennessee back in 22 or 23, I guess it was. Yeah, 23. Coming in, in late games in the postseason and throwing 3 or 4 innings, throwing gas and just coming in and really closing the door on teams. And we haven't had a pitcher like that for a long time, as far as I can remember. So hopefully someone like that, a lefty with some nastiness to him. I think we kind of need that coming out of the bullpen. And another guy that I'd really like to see take another step would be Justin Legurnick. Big lefty, just wasn't able to put it together last year. He got hit pretty hard, but he's a big kid. He's got a great frame. I think he's got good stuff. So I'd really like to see him take another step as a lefty out of the bullpen. I feel like, especially in college baseball, you get a guy that size with, coming from a left-hand arm slot. It can be a real weapon out of the bullpen. And reports are coming out of camp that we had, double-digit guys hitting 95 mile an hour or more. So hope that's true. I don't know if I trust that source, but let's hope it's true news.
If Legurnick can reach 90% of what we saw him against South Carolina and Columbia, that's a win.
Exactly.
For me, I'm gonna go Dion Brown. I know, I don't think we'll see him that often, but I saw something on Twitter similar to what you said. He jumped from 89 to 97. So,
what are they feeding those boys down there in South Carolina?
I don't know if these guns are a little juiced, but I think if you've got a kid throwing 97, he's a shorter guy. I think.
I believe that he was tiny coming in last year. Like
That's
if
true.
he just put some muscle on his frame, it's very very possible that could be the case. But I mean that's still a significant jump.
Yeah. And then hitting wise,
5'10", 155.
Yeah.
So gotta.
he probably has long arms. Hitting wise, I mean, this guy was an everyday player basically last year. I think McClatty takes the jump. But I honestly don't know. Does he play third? Like, there's a lot of competition in this infield, which is obviously a good thing. I think there's like 14. It's similar to last year. There's like 14 guys you think you could play every day, which is a good problem to have. But it's tough to do these predictions where it's not like it's football or basketball. These kids are, recruiting files are everywhere, and you kind of know. And then football, there's a practice period, and so I think McClatty takes the next jump. I think he has some good power. Average, pretty good fielder, so I think he takes that next jump.
I think that's one of the more exciting things about this team this year. I mean, it's kind of been one of the staples of Eric Bakic's teams is that we have a lot of utility guys, but even so now, like with the transfers, like you said, with Samoy and shoot, I can't remember the name. But I mean, look, a lot of guys like Ty Marshall coming in who are able to play multiple positions. I don't think we're going to have a staple 1 to 9 lineup. I think we're going to be seeing that change, not just on a weekly basis, but throughout the series. So that's exciting that you can kind of tailor your roster to your opponent, to the matchup, based on the deep roster that we have. So it's exciting to see, and I'm ready to see the boys in action.
Yeah, agreed. As we've kind of said with Eric Bakic, if you can hit, he's going to find a spot for you. So with a guy like a McClatty or a Crichton where you don't know, do you play him at first? Do you play him in the outfield? Do you play him in, corner and field? But where do they fit in? I think also with the news today of Colin Priest, sounds like he's going to miss a good bit of time. I think, that DH position is going to be probably up for the taking here in the early season. So it'd be really interesting and compelling to see one of these guys come in and kind of work their way into the starting lineup, for the remainder of the season. Could be a good competition to have.
No, yeah, I think I like Priest. I think when he makes contact with the ball, goes a very long way. His problem last year was just the off speed, and he could not hit a backdoor breaking ball. It was tough. I guess going from last year's team with Reed Garris and Malstead, one of my concerns for this team is high leverage. Late innings. Who do we lean towards? I like McGovern a lot. I think he's a great long reliever if a starter doesn't have his stuff, and we can put him in for. He's an inning eater. I'm not trying to be a derogatory term against him, but I think that's what he is. I think he's really good. I think he's like a fourth starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Who do we think takes Reed Garris and those high leverage innings that Garris and Malstead gave us last year?
I think you got to see some veteran guys, like Nathan Dvorsky's of the world, Joe Allen.
Joe Allen. I think he's the returning ERA leader, so that's on me. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Good pull, Jay. Good pull. I think you got to see guys like that kind of, being the anchors in that bullpen, because like you mentioned, realistically, it's a pretty young pitching staff, all things considered. Especially in the back end of the bullpen. So I think you got to see those guys, Dvorsky, Allen, Chance Fitzgerald coming back for his junior year. But I think that's a really good point. Who do we feel like is going to fit into that setup man or closer role? Ideally, I think you'd love to have more pitching depth in the starting rotation and be able to move Drew Titsworth back there, because he's obviously got some electric stuff. But be very interested to see who's going to take over that back end role. It might be closer by committee to start the season, if I had to guess.
Can I give you my answer or my choice?
Please.
I'm going to go with Hayden Simerson from D2 Catawba. 23 saves last year. They may have actually been... I don't know if he's JUCO or D2. No, SAC. That's Anderson's conference at D2. But I think he's going to be good. And I think in a perfect world, it's Canuck, Bell, Moeller, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Titsworth goes back to the bullpen.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of guys that we'd like to see more out of, I think Tallendale, coming back from Tommy John last year, still saw some really good production out of him. So hoping that another full year of being healthy is going to add to that production. He's going to get, sounds like, the start on Saturday of this week. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. One correction I need to make for myself. I think Moeller won't start till March. I think that's the plan for him. So I do not know who's going to be that Sunday. I mean, it could be a bullpen game. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we might be looking at a Yeah, big lefty. I'll be honest. I'll be the first to say I don't know a whole lot about him or what his arsenal looks like, but I know Bakich kind of speaks highly of him. I could see him maybe taking that Sunday role to start the season.
Or Legurnick. Legurnick would be a good choice too. He's done it before. I don't know. I'm just excited. It's always fun. Like, baseball's such a long season. So is that a collector's cup? I have that same one.
It is a collector's cup. It's fire.
I have that same one.
I use it all the time.
Nice. No free ads, but I have the same one.
Yeah, good.
Dishwasher safe, very effective, great stuff. obviously us three, we've been to a lot of baseball games together. We saw Bakic's first win, all that. I just love him. I watched his year-end press conference from 2024, and his just bluntness against umpires got me fired up.
Yeah, man. I know you were the one in the stands. You were the first one firing him up. Supporting him. I think he needed that.
Yeah, no. Me and Chris were there. It was hot, very hot, but I got hit in the head walking into the stadium.
That's right. In batting practice, right?
I don't know if I got hit from a foul ball or if Florida players were like warming up and one. I mean, you would really have to let it loose.
I
don't know, but
I think it hit the net, and then like the way it hit the net rolled off, and then like came at an angle towards your head. But it was.
Dude, I
think it was
it
like
hurt.
right.
Can you
I
remind
mean,
me?
I thought we were gonna win. I thought we were guaranteed to win when that happened. I'm like, hell yeah, we won.
Yeah,
like it's in
we're
the
good.
bag.
I thought we were gonna win after the Cam Canarella catch.
Dude, that was the greatest
Probably
catch I've
the
ever
greatest
seen in my
I've
life.
ever seen.
I hate that we lost that game. Even if we would have won that game and lost on Sunday or Monday,
Yeah.
I could easily say that was the funnest game. Too bad we lost. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, losing that was it was pretty devastating. Remind me what the call was. I know it was some sort of issue
Oh.
with Caglione.
Well, it was
Alden Mathis
Christ.
spiked his bat,
That's right.
Yeah.
And then didn't
and
Crichton-
we were saying, well, Caglione did that because
That's right.
Caglione, I'm not the great player. He hit the furthest ball I've ever seen again
Over
on
Patterson,
that
right?
Saturday.
Wasn't it dead center over the batter's eye?
Oh my gosh, dude! It went over the batter's eye, and like he knew it too.
Yeah, dude has.
And then he pitched on Sunday and almost got in a fight, and like they treat. I don't know how he gets preferential treatment.
Yeah, that bothers me. It feels like, it's kind of like the Derek Jeter effect where, umpires have different zones based on the player. Veteran pitchers obviously get it a lot. In the MLB, you hear that, oh, he's a rookie, so he doesn't get that corner. It's like, why don't you call it the same way for everyone? It strikes in the strike zone.
He literally like pushed Jack Crichton. That was sick.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was Nolan Naraki.
Oh, it was Naraki?
Yeah, it was Naraki at first base, and then Crichton was.
Oh, and Crichton touched
Wait.
the umpire. He was trying to score from third,
That's
and
right.
touched the umpire.
Crichton left the baseline, and they ejected him for that, but they didn't.
Man.
Caglione for initiating the contact.
The Nolan Naraki pull is crazy. What's that guy these days? Sorry, not to hate on him.
Where is he? Oh, that's actually a good question.
Do some research. I was just gonna say, isn't it crazy how,
He's at Tulane.
He's at Tulane. Wow.
What were his numbers last year? What were his splits?
Trash. Screw that guy.
Isn't it just crazy how these moments always seem to happen in NCAA regional? Like the craziest baseball moments you'll ever see happen in the NCAA baseball postseason. That's what makes it so amazing. I mean, that's why we love what we do.
Do we love the pain?
Well, when it
Do we
goes,
love the pain?
I was at the 2022 College Park Regional, Maryland facing the UConn Huskies, and they took it to a Monday evening game, winner-take-all regional championship. And Bubba Aline got called out by a home plate umpire for exiting the base path. One of those plays, throw to first, bounce off his shoulder, and they say he's out of the base path, called him out. You'll never see that called in a regular season game, ever. And a good
Yeah, because these umpires want to make it about them.
Yep, it's an ump show, and we let me hear that one. But it's incredible how these things happen in the postseason.
Dude, what is your here? We'll end this. We can make this a positive. What is your favorite Clemson baseball loss of all time? I have one in mind. Easy answer.
Favorite loss of all time?
Yes, easy. It should be easy. It should be really easy.
I feel like I'm missing something. Chris.
I know exactly what it was. It was the ACC tournament loss.
Yeah, 2022 against Virginia Tech.
That game, fantastic.
That was awesome.
Oh,
'Cause
Camden Troyer hit a ball the first I ever
Camden
seen.
Troyer hit a ball that almost hit the Duke Energy building, and then Spencer and I, we were working with Brian Hennessy at the time, GOAT, and the coach that should not be named was having a press conference. We knew all was going to happen the next day.
Yeah.
We were just dying laughing in the back.
In the back
Oh
of the
my
press
god, it was
conference.
awesome. That's
There
the
was
only time where we've lost, and I'm like, that we had to lose that game because if we would have went on a run, would have set back our program a decade.
Yeah, it's true. That Virginia Tech loss was the Tyler Loop missed kick. I mean, that's
Dude, you can't compare Monty Lee to John Harbaugh.
I mean,
That is insane work.
you know what? Mediocrity comes in all forms.
I guess Monty had a run. He had a good run.
Yeah, kind of. What's
I
the
guess-
first one with Monty? We never made it out of a regional with Monty.
No, we didn't know. But he had multiple 1 seeds like hosting.
Vanderbilt 2018 is probably the best run he ever had.
Yeah. I guess where do we see this team at the end of the year? Do we think I don't think we win the ACC. I hate saying that. I think Georgia Tech and Louisville are stacked. North Carolina is always good.
Yeah.
What do we see? Where do you think the ceiling on this team is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like the ACC. It would be great to win. Like it was awesome when we beat Miami in 2023, but that's not the end goal. And the ACC is stacked. Like when you got the pitching at a UNC and the offensive production at a Georgia Tech, like that's not necessarily something that you should seek to be like the end goal because 3 of those teams in the top of the ACC could easily be in Omaha. I think the expectation is to get to a Super this year, whether it be winning into one or hosting one. I really don't have a preference. I would just like to get to one, and then I would like that to be the floor, and then ceiling obviously at Omaha. I think
Thank you, Juju, for the shout out. Thank you for tuning in.
I think my justification for that is bringing in a lot of great talent from the high school level, transfer level. Big losses with Canarella and some of the pitching, but I still think that what we have developed and what we are bringing in is enough to take that level of consistency up where it wasn't last year.
Yeah. Agreed. It felt like it was a bit of a roller coaster a lot of last season. I don't know the exact numbers on how many, 3 or 4 plus win or loss streaks we had. Chris, Jerry and I have kind of connected on this take offline, but let me know what you think about it.
Offline.
Let's circle back offline, boys.
Let's take this off. Let's take this off air.
Yeah, let's circle back. We kind of had the feeling that, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if this team is, the past couple of years we've had 2 seeds come into Clemson, and we've always gotten a tough draw with a great 2 seed, whether it be Tennessee, Vanderbilt, West Virginia last year. Maybe this year this team needs to be that 2 seed, right? Like maybe we need to go on the road in a regional and just go somewhere and ruin someone's party. Like
We need to
send
be
us down to
nightmares.
Yeah, send us down to Athens, right?
I'm selfishly.
Or
I want
TCU.
to go TCU.
That would
TCU
be
would be
They are
sick.
loaded.
badass. Yeah.
TCU would be
And-
sick.
We just
I
need
can
that
walk
level
us
of
in.
grittiness, right? Where Bakich can rally the boys and
Dude,
say,
I could see this team being like 34-20, but peaking at the right time. Maybe we lose in the ACC semifinal or championship, and it's like, oh gosh, I do not want to see Clemson in my regional.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Also-
kind of what it was like the 2023 season. Like we were peaking like crazy at the end of the season.
Yeah, we
Riley
were.
Bertram.
Yeah, Riley Bertram. We were not a good baseball team. I would be in the press box and I'd be texting Spencer. We're playing Monty Ball still, and the hidden ball trick against Florida State, Tallahassee kind of swing the momentum, and then all of a sudden you look up and we're a top 4 national seed, and
Unbelievable.
then he who should not be named hits a grand slam against Linscomb. Awesome environment, so cool. But man, it was power.
Miss him. Sometimes I think about him.
I think he was. I thought he was the prince that was promised.
I mean, raw power.
Dude, have you
Dude.
ever seen a kid hit like that?
Just
I
right.
mean,
Who's this?
Billy
Billy
Amick.
Amick.
Oh, yeah.
Dude just raked. I mean,
That ball.
double machine, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, his slugging. Oh.
Guess who had him benched though for the whole season before that?
Well, yeah, but
I know.
I get it. Where was he gonna play on that team?
Yeah, we have Max Wagner. We had the ACC Player of the Year at third base. It's true.
Dude, 2023 was arguably Backage's least talented team.
We went-
It wasn't
I
any
don't
of
think
those
they're the
guys.
best. I think 2024 was obviously the best. But his 2023 team was the least talented, in my opinion.
You got a lot out of that team.
I mean, you had Grice and Canarella, but like, that pitching rotation was not that great.
No. And Cam wasn't even peaking yet. Cam's best year was last year.
Nah. You think?
I think
I
Cam
think
Canerella's best year was 24.
I think it was his sophomore year. Yeah.
Oh,
He
he's
just
not-
his hitting was really piss poor until the regional.
He's had no.
Yeah,
I feel
true.
bad. The surgery he had going into the year, he was. I mean, he's too good of a fielder not to play, but he couldn't throw. He couldn't hit the cutoff guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough. That was hard to watch.
No, it's like watching an old dog. You're like, damn, I love you, but like, it may be time.
It's like watching Lindsey Vonn try to ski. Sorry, too soon.
Dang, too soon, bro. I don't even watch Winter Olympics and I do that. I think this team could go to Omaha, but I don't want to get my expectations up just because my ceiling for this team is let's just have a Game 3 Super Regional. Winner take all. Let's just get a Game 3 Super Regional. I can live with if we lose.
Agreed. Get to that game.
That's like you're one play away from usually winning those kind of games.
Yeah. All
Last
bets
year,
are off.
yeah, no, last year losing like that in the first Sunday game for the second twice out of 3 years. I mean that's painful. It's painful.
I feel like that just happens sometimes when teams are not as deep as they need to be, right? Like you lose an emotional game in the 1-0 game on Saturday. For example, with Tennessee, the later that game got, everybody knew the loser was done. They were not going to beat Charlotte the next morning. Similar thing. I mean, it's such an early game on Sunday then, right? So similar last year where you just couldn't get over that hump in the 1-0 game. And then you go on Sunday and, we're facing Kentucky, like you're facing a good SEC club. And we just didn't have we were out of gas.
Yeah. Pour all your energy into a game.
Yep. So you either got to win that 1-0 game or have enough depth to where you can deal with some of that adversity and come back out of the loser's bracket and make it to the regional.
For sure. Well, guys, I gotta go to a basketball game, but this was a good time. This was good time. Spencer, you got an open invitation anytime you want to talk baseball on the podcast. So just text me or Chris, and we'll make it happen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Looking forward to this season, and maybe we'll have to hop back on sometime during the season, give our analysis, little bit ways into the season, and
we can do a conference play preview once we get.
I would like that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Get our analysis in the non-conference schedule and see how his team projects for the rest of the year.
Perfect.
It was a pleasure.
All right, well, everyone follow the socials, Saturday Club on Instagram and TikTok, and